Intersectionality is a sociological theory describing multiple areas of discrimination when individuals' identities overlap within a number of minority classes, such as race, gender, age, ethnicity, health, and other characteristics. For example, I identify as a young Caucasian female. Because I am a young Caucasian female, I don't experience the issues people who identify with different races and ethnicities do. However, because I am still a female, I do go through what a lot of other females go through with lower paying wages, being treated not as equal to men in all areas that I should. I have experienced sexism and inappropriate comments, gestures. I've been told things that aren't deemed appropriate. When I do start my career, I will make less than a white male, and because I am female, there are certain expectations set for me in society. As a woman growing up, you're expected to find a man, marry that man, have a child with that man, and have that man support you and your children. And in society, this is our social structure, and this is what's expected. I don't really want to follow that structure just because that's not really me. But we as women are expected to take care of those kids, clean the house, and even times cook. Over time, this has changed a lot, but there are still people, particularly men, that think women should stay at home, and that women should not be the breadwinners. Men are taught as children that you are less of a man if you are not the breadwinner. So in society, grown men think they do have to be, and when they're not, it's taken very offensively, or the man is criticized for it. And so society just makes it a lot harder for women to kind of take that role in society because you are under so many different expectations. I don't support my gender binary, which is what people classify me as or expect from me, such as giving birth, staying at home, and primarily taking care of the children. As a woman, I like to work, and I am very independent, and I'm a very independent woman. I do not want to give birth to children and then be expected to stay at home with them 24/7. I want it to be fair with my significant other. I want them to take care of my child just as much as I'm taking care of my child. And I want them to cook just as much as I cook, or maybe even more than me, because honestly, I'm not the best cook. So, I want to live life how I want without following my gender binaries and social norms. I don't want to follow what society has put in place for me as a woman. Throughout life, I've always been taught to be independent. Thank goodness for my parents, but because of them, I have learned a lot about myself, and because of them, I have become a very independent woman. I've went to college, which is something that a lot of women nowadays are doing because of social norms changing, and I think it is taking a lot longer for social norms to change, but it is happening, and that is a really good sign. I also am going into a career path that is primarily men, so I will get a significant pay cut. I want to go into architecture, so obviously I don't follow my gender binary in that category either. I want to kind of go down my own path and live life how I want to without following every social structure that's presented in front of me. I want to kind of do things on my own, and I think that's a lot of women nowadays and what a lot of women want to do. A topic that I resonated the most with thus far is definitely the light that has been shed in our class on what women face every day. In this class, we talk a lot about women, how we got to the place we have gotten thus far. For example, we talk a lot about how men in our society objectify women. So we're used a lot for like sex appeal. There are a lot of there's a lot of standards that women have to follow that men do not, and it's very different. We also talk about slut shaming and how like men make a game out of having sex with females, which is not something that is good. And by watching the videos and the movies that have been posted about these different things have really resonated with me, because I don't agree with them. They make me very angry. They upset me a lot. I also really relate to the domestic violence issues that we have discussed that women endure from men. It doesn't only happen to just women, it does also happen to men, but we focus on the female primarily because it does happen more so to women than it does men. At least more women come forward about it than men do. This area really resonates with me a lot because I'm an Alpha Chi Omega, and my philanthropy is domestic violence awareness. So having discussions like this and seeing these topics, they all kind of come together, and like it's what like domestic violence awareness is something I support big time, something I'm very passionate about. So when we talk about these things in class, I do get kind of like heated a little bit, and I do like definitely put my opinions out there and what I think is right and what's not right. In order to better meet the objectives of ethics and social responsibility, I plan on acknowledging that everyone plays a part in society. So everyone plays a part in the social structure in society as well, from old to young to little kids. If we don't teach our kids young then, how things should be and what things aren't right, then our kids will grow up just like how we have grown up, and things won't change, and therefore social structures will never change. And that's something I definitely want to happen, and you do see in our society now. My generation will be the change, and we've already started the change. I also want to keep in mind that everyone, no matter your race, your ethnicity, your age, your gender, everyone goes through different obstacles in life, and these obstacles are faced because of social norms and structures, and I want to be able to listen to these people when they're talking. I don't want to put them down. Like, for example, when a person in general comes to you and says that they have been raped or they are going through domestic violence and stuff, instead of talking them down about it or telling them that they're not, like actually sitting there and listening to them and making sure that people are okay and that people feel as though they're being heard. When talking with other individuals, I'll not just listen to speak, but I'll listen to understand what the person speaking to me is saying. This is really big for me because I feel like nowadays in our society, we listen to everyone just so that we can be heard, so that we can speak out against what they're saying, and that's not at all what I want to do. And I think by taking the time and listening and trying to understand what individuals are saying or understand what they're going through in life about social norms or gender studies or anything like that, I can grasp what they're saying more, and I can make a more like presentable conversation, and like I can understand what they're saying better.